Well, hey team, great to be back in the driver's seat. Steve Salvia here, ready to go, ready to do this with you basically. If you've just joined us, welcome, and there is quite a few that have just jumped on the line, so welcome everyone. Great to have you with us, and let's rock this out today. So glad you're here, we're going to have a great time, and you're going to love today. If you want to get rid of some of the stress, some of the volume, some of the overwhelm, you know, if we want to get that stuff out of your world and make things flow really smoothly with no friction whatsoever in your business, if that's what you're after, well, you're going to have a great time today, and so am I, if that's the case. Just a little bit of housekeeping just quickly, guys, just for a reminder about the fortnightly Sherp session. As you know, every second and every third Tuesday of every month at 1:30 Perth Western Australian time, we do the fortnightly Sherp. So it's just basically an opportunity, not a structured format. Come to the session, bring your questions, email the questions to me early if you want, so I can have a bit of a look at it and a bit of a heads up before we get there. And it's just your opportunity to get some stuff done, get some stuff off your chest, get some stuff off your desk, some things out of your head, and take you forward with some momentum and a bit of power there as well. So the fortnightly Sherp every first Tuesday, and third Tuesday of every single month at 1:30 per time. So jump on that. We've had some great outcomes just recently as well. Also, just a bit of a heads up for some guys who have done some great work with their lead magnets and a bit of design work through the design team. So, Guru's done Guru Sridhar has done a fantastic. He's an aged care specialist. That's his game. That's his niche. That's his expertise. And he did what we call the aged care fee and pension clarifier. And he's been using this to absolutely great success out in the world of people in amongst aged care in that area, and also to people in the aged care industry as well. He's had a lot of success with that. So just wanted to send a shout out to you, mate. Looks absolutely fantastic, really different, a bit unusual, you know, really eye-catching, and he's had a great amount of success with that as well. So really cool for you. Also, Andrew Dwyer's done the Bulletproof Your Insurance lead blueprint. Got that out to his marketplace as well. I know he's been in contact with a couple of strategic alliance partners with that lead magnet as well. So again, just looks really, really good. Looks amazing, very professional, slick. Got something really good for his website now, and he's done a bit of marketing with it as well. Looks absolutely fantastic. Rob Gilmore from the Moore Group. Also, another different style of lead magnet as well. The Prosperity and Retirement Guide, he called his. They look absolutely amazing. They work really, really well, and we've now got something to go to market with, and people to come back and grab that from us and reach out and touch us and ask us for more information and that sort of thing. So yeah, it just builds the brand and builds your reputation out there as well. Matt Bazic needed a deal folder, a deal brochure to put in his envelopes when he sent out his welcome kit. So guess what? Boom, we just made one up for him. Did a bit of toing and froing between myself and Matt, and I reckon we've come up with something absolutely smick that he's got now that he can put in his welcome kits, and I think he's going to put them on the front counter of his desk and all of his office and that sort of thing as well. So yeah, it looks just really, really good. Yeah, Empty Nesters is his marketplace, and that's what we've done. So it's just a little brochure about his business. William Tomac. Okay, William, I see you're on the call, mate. Great to have you here. Did some logo work with William and come up with the business card design. William wanted strength and clean lines and, you know, pillar and, you know, solid and, you know, trustworthy, been around for a long period of time, and you know, and he wanted very simplicity was the other thing for William as well. So we had a lot of toing and froing with William because of the simplicity. The actual design was blooming hard. It was quite difficult, more difficult than we actually thought. We thought it'd be easy doing it simply, but the reality is it was actually quite difficult. But I think what we've ended up with, William, is pretty smick indeed, and it's going to look absolutely awesome as well. We're working on some other design projects, letterheads and email headers and footers for you right now, mate, but I think the first part of the job come up pretty well. Your logo and your business cards have come up really smick as well. And also just doing a few different corporate profiles as well for a couple of the guys in the group. On Track Financial, Aaron and Bruce and Aaron there got the same corporate profile, but just different covers, so they know within the business who's is who's. And yeah, come up look really, really smick. So yeah, and professional. and they've got something really, really good to show their clients. So yeah, William telling me he's happy there. So great work. So guys, the design service, if you're looking at logos or, you know, some branding, or you need a brochure, you need a flyer, we're actually working on a couple of websites at the moment right now. We're nearly finished. I've got one nearly at first draft, so I'm really happy to show that very shortly. Guys, anything like that, your corporate profile, PowerPoint website, anything like that, just go onto the design tab in the Vault, in the members page, and you can download it from there. All right, okay, let's get into this. So yeah, if you've been part of Coaching Club for, you know, any more than, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, you'll know that we have 6 themes in Coaching Club, 6 foundations, 6 key pillars that make up the basis of Coaching Club. And we're in July right now. It's the last week in July for Coaching Club, and this month is Model Month. So, you know, the way we do what we do. So today what I want to talk to you about is about your flow, the rate at which you do things and get things done in your business. You know, how things get from the top of your business at one end, at the top end, and flow through your business at the other. And so what happens if you're not careful, if you don't do this right, what happens is that if you focus too much on the marketing and the client attraction and the converting and the getting work from reviews as well, because, you know, there's a lot of that happening as well, not so much new work, but it's also more work out of existing clients. Now, I reckon if you spend too much time getting good at that, like what I call the front end, you don't put enough emphasis on the back end. And what happens is you just speed up the rate at which people find out you're no good. People commit, they come on board, they engage, and they expect a long-term relationship with you, but a lot of the time we let them down. We make all these promises up front and we just don't deliver because, you know, we reckon all the hard work's done up front, and after, you know, not too long, you know, what happens is that they find out you're not that great at all, and that was nowhere near what their expectation was. So, because we're too focused on the front end, we've got to get the back end right as well. We made all these promises and said all this stuff, and we just didn't keep any of them. And often it's because of you. You know, that's right, you're the one. You're the one normally getting in the way. You're the bottleneck. Sometimes you're the brick wall. Most of the stuff generally sits on your desk. Have you noticed that in your business? That you're often the barrier to everything running smoothly in the way it should in your financial planning business. So what we want to do, this session, you know, basically the reason I came up with this is because I've had heaps of conversations with you guys just recently on our focus sessions, which are fantastic. I'm loving those. But you know, there's sort of a negative effect that's happening at the moment because of your success. You know what I mean by cause and effect. It's like, you know, what I've been hearing a lot of is that my marketing's working, I'm getting more clients, and all of a sudden I'm starting to get these referrals, and, you know, I'm getting leads from my lead magnets or my Facebook ads, for those of you guys who are using the Facebook ads, which is great as well. You know, I had a call last week from a guy who said he sent the referral email to 5 new clients and got 9 referrals from that one email. 9 new people. One email to 5 people and got 9 referrals out, which is fantastic. Matt Bazica sent out the zombie email to 6 people the other day, was telling me, and 5 of those people responded in 5 appointments. So he sent it to 6 people, who got 5 people responded to his zombie email, and he's got 5 brand new appointments in his diary. Okay, so there's heaps going on out there, and heaps more people want to talk to you, and, you know, you get more work out of your review meetings, like I said, and things like that. Heaps of people saying that to me, which I reckon is great. But it's all good stuff. But what happens is you become a victim of your own success. So there's you know, like all that new work is great, but there's a lot of new work that comes with it. So there's a direct knock-on effect. You get more work in the door. There's a knock-on effect from that, and that's really got me thinking about this. And I had someone actually say to me the other day, that's really why I did this session today, guys. Someone said to me the other day, I'm going to stop looking for new work while I can get this backlog through the system. And that's the last thing that I want to hear from any of you guys. That's the very last thing, okay? So rather than stopping getting the new clients in the door, let's fix it going through the system and work out where the bottleneck is. So today, this call is all about, I want to teach you a strategy that really, really helped me, and I know it's going to help you too. It's, you know, I want to make sure that you guys become Teflon. All right? So when I think of Teflon, guys, I think of non-stick, smooth, nothing sticks to me, stuff slides through, everything flows, and things just work the way they should around me. Okay, that's why I designed this Teflon Edge workshop. I want to show you how to get more done in less time with less friction than you've ever had before. And I want you to have the skills to get more done in 3 months than most financial planners get done in an entire year. If you do this right, that's the outcome you get. Okay, and that's where we're heading today, and I really, really hope you get a lot out of this. Because the problem we got, and the problem you've got, Okay, and if we don't put enough time in the front end, the challenge that we have is that, you come up against a few issues, and none of these issues that I'm going to walk through now are any good for a financial planner. All right? So the first issue is, the first challenge that we have is it's so easy to get overwhelmed, isn't it? And overwhelmed is a bad place for a financial planner. It's too easy to get overwhelmed, overdone, overtasked, snowed under. Okay, people expect everything done. They want it now. And of course, we're about delivering. That's what we are. That's who we are as people. That's why we're in this game. And we're about delivering on our promises and doing things for people all the time. So we set about trying to deliver everything to everybody all at the same time, right? Does that make sense? Everyone sort of feel that? You know what it's like. There's so many things that when it's like, most of you guys on the call, like, you're transitioning from okay to stepping it up. And, in the old days it was okay, your diary wasn't too full, you didn't have that much to do, you had capacity, so you just did stuff yourself because you could. Right? That's cool, and that was fine at the time. But now we're busier. You think about this for your own business. Now we're busier, and we're getting more sophisticated, and we just don't have the time that we used to. There's all this extra stuff we have to do with the rules and compliance and all those extra things, all those layers that we've got that we didn't have before as well. And now we're way busier, and that approach just won't work anymore. There's all these added layers of complexity, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed and snowed under. And that's just how it is. Another part of this issue is that you feel like you've got too many hoops to spin right now, don't you? Think about it. I love this picture, by the way. Even just think about the basics, the day-to-day skills that you need to be a financial planner right now. You've got to find new clients. You've got to look after existing clients. You've got to help people with inquiries. In fact, guys, what I'd love you to do me a favour. Can you do me a favour and type into the question box for me? I'd love to know what are some of the different skills and different responsibilities that you need to juggle in your financial planning business? Just if you can type me 1 or 2 or 3 into the question box, that'd be great. Just let me know. Let's see if we can build up a bit of a list here. What are some of the things that you need to be a master of in your business? Because it's not just all selling and client-facing work, is it? There's heaps of things that you need to do in your business. I'd just love to do me a favour, just take 20 seconds to type into the question box what are some of the 2 or 3 of the things that you need to be responsible for in your financial planning business. So just do that for me now. We've got to keep up with the rules and the markets and the laws, exactly right, let alone the compliance stuff that you've got to do. You need to sell and you've got to make income, right. You've got to run the business and run the staff, exactly right. You've got to keep up the technical skills. You've got to, exactly, staff marketing, compliance, strategy, portfolio management, research, exactly, yeah, huge. You've got to keep up to date with all the changes in the rules. What else, guys? There's a heap of people on the call. Love everyone to type in for me. Do me a favour, bring your A game with you, and, keep myself and my team motivated. Exactly right, Paul. What else? We've got to keep up the technical skills, I said. Do the admin and follow-up. What else we've got to do? Type it in for me, guys. If you haven't typed in yet, I'd love you to type me in. What else? Prepare strategies and technical summaries and reports. Exactly. Find the time to create blogs and social media. Yes, exactly. That's more and more of that all the time. Guys, I really need participation in today's session. So if you're not participating, that's not acceptable. Okay. Great, Benny. Great. Manage workflow, marketing, exactly. Get PD points, training, education, exactly, Paul. Williams is streamlining the SOA and client review process, using technology to make it easier, producing marketing material, exactly. We've got to see clients. We've got to build relationships and networks. We've got to do reviews. We've got to follow up outstandings, chase people up, exactly. There's heaps and heaps of things that you have to do. People think that financial planners just see clients and talk to people. Well, I wish it was that easy. You think some of those things. You think about the categories. There's marketing. Thanks, Paul. Keeping referral partners motivated. Exactly. You break up the categories. There's marketing. There's sales. There's learning. There's admin. There's client work. There's heaps of different sort of subcategories there as well. And most of those things are actually a full-time job. And we're trying to juggle that by ourselves. Then you bust each one of those things down. Each one of those could be an entire department in your financial planning, or at least 2 or 3 or 4 people just doing each one of those different sections that you're meant to be juggling or spinning at the same time. It's like like the hula hoop girl. You know, she's balancing one job on one arm and one completely different separate job on another, and her legs have got two different jobs all on their own, and she could, you know, she could even get more work lumped on them. You know, I went around her waist and around her neck as well, and she's got to try and juggle all those hula hoops as well. And yeah, she's got to try and do all of that at the same time, and it's blooming hard, just like it is in your financial planning business. Keeping referrals, CPDs, counsellor to clients. Yeah, absolutely. Counsellor to clients, exactly. It's another thing there, Susan. Thank you. And so what happens is, of course, you end up stuck, don't you? If you're too much overwhelmed, too many jobs to do, too many things to juggle, you know, everything seems to land on your desk. You end up in inertia, just like the guy on the Velcro mat there. You know, it's got nowhere to go. He's stuck. You don't know what to do first. There's too many things to do. So you just sit there trying to move, but you get nowhere. And instead of being smooth and like Teflon and having things flow, well, you end up getting bogged down and doing things that you don't want to do or you shouldn't be doing. Not because you want to do them, but because you need to do them. It just has to get done. The fun's gone out of it. There's you're just doing it because it needs to get done, not because it excites you or you enjoy doing it. It's just got to get done. You've always done it in the past, so you're the one that does it. You're stuck. You get it done, no worries, but it's only because you have to do it. You have to do it as opposed to you wanting to do it. The only way you're going to get paid most of the time is if this stuff gets done and off your desk, because you need to get the business to flow, right? And frankly, that's not a fun way to run your business. So that's the bad news. So that's the downside of success. There's lots more to do. And that's what heaps of financial planners that are feeling right now. And I know a heap of you guys on the call are feeling the same way as well. And that's why we're doing this training. Okay, but what if we did it well? What if we could do it differently than that? And you know, let me show you the opportunity that brings. Because with every challenge comes opportunity. Because what happens is, if instead of feeling overcome or overwhelmed, that what now feeling. Okay, how am I going to do this? Just instead of feeling bogged down and stuck by the sheer mass of work that you've got to do, instead of feeling like you're snowed under, you get elevated. You get above it, rise above the noise. You get clarity about what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. Because there's a whole heap of things that you need to be doing, but there's a whole heap of things that you should not be touching. Okay, you get to rise above it all. And figure out what needs to be done, in what order, by who, and figure out if you're the best person to have that task on your desk or if someone else with more skills and more time and, frankly, more interest in doing it should be doing that thing. And also, if that other person is actually going to do it really, really well as well. That's the other thing. So you can actually free up your space, your time, some disk space in your brain. I talk about free up a bit of that space, compact it a little bit, so you can just breathe again and focus on the right things instead of being overwhelmed and snowed under by the day-to-day. Yeah, if you do this right, instead of having to juggle all those balls and spin plates and do everything you need to do, flip hula hoops around like you're doing right now, all those things that you need to do at the same time, instead of doing that, you want to be in a position where you've got other people who are sweating the details for you. Other people do the small stuff. They say that, there's a saying, they say don't sweat the small stuff. Well, in our world, the small stuff has to be sweated. We can't avoid it. Often it's the small stuff that makes the difference in our business. But the thing is, that doesn't mean that it has to be done by you. You don't have to be the one that's sweating. Why can't someone else be the one who sweats? Does that make sense? It's like a specialist surgeon. You think about it. The analogy I use here, a couple of analogies, but what does a specialist surgeon do? He meets the patient, he does the diagnosis, he prescribes the treatment, he keeps up with the latest medical advancements and all the cutting-edge technology, and he's the one that's got all the knowledge. He's the one with the brain. He's the brains of the operation normally. But does he book in the procedure? No. Does he send the prep forms and make sure the surgery is going to happen and does all the pre-work before the surgery? No, he doesn't. Does he get involved in the payment or the paperwork or the backstage side of his surgery? No, he doesn't. Surgeon turns up. All his surgeries are done, all on the same day usually. Say Thursdays. If I was a surgeon, I'd say, okay, every Thursday is surgery day. All the patients are registered, they've taken the details, they've been liaising with other people from the team for months, a couple of months now before it happened. They just turn up, they get admitted, they get prepped. Sometimes they even get anaesthetised and they get opened up ready for the surgeon to turn up. What does the surgeon do? Well, the surgeon walks in with his arms out and someone slides on his gown, someone else puts his gloves and his mask on, and he walks in the theatre, he just picks up the x-ray really quickly, just has a quick check of the x-ray, and he might make the incision, or that could already be done for him, but he makes the incision, and he does all the important work, the rock star work, the critical work in this process, the work that matters, and the stuff that he or she gets highly paid for as well. And at the end, he just turns around, rips off the gloves and the gown and the mask, and he walks into the next theatre, and they do the same thing over and over again. Then after he's gone, what happens is someone else comes in, and someone else comes in and they close up, they wipe down, they wheel the patient back to recovery, and then they do all the post-op stuff. The surgeon doesn't really get involved at all. He might come and say hello and make sure they're feeling okay when they've come out of the anaesthesia. But it's all important. Every single step of that process is important. Think about this for your financial planning business as well. But does the surgeon have to do all that stuff? No, he doesn't. He just focuses on the front end, and he doesn't think that much about the back end at all. He doesn't sweat the deets, and he focuses on what he's best at and what's best for his business. Again, think about that in the context of your business. All the details are handled, all the follow-ups done, all the paperwork and the chasing up and the super rollovers and the chasing up file notes and the database, it's all done, handled. And all the backstage is done for you so you can focus on the front stage. The stuff that you're not good at, well, you pass that off to someone else and you get lifted, you get elevated, like I said. What happens is, and then also what happens is instead of being bogged down, instead of being bogged down, what happens is on the way down, you actually are able to do what you do best. Okay, you get lifted. We've been lifted above. Someone else sweats the details, and you do what's most fun, what's most enjoyable, what's most lucrative, the important things in your world, the stuff that you're put on this earth to do. Because I don't know about you, but I know for a fact that I was not put on this earth to make appointments. I'm not sure about you. I wasn't born to type up file notes. No way. I didn't do all my study to chase up admin stuff, paperwork. No way. That's not what I was here for. That's not what I was put on this earth for. Not in a shadow of a doubt. I wasn't born to find out where lost paperwork is, things like that. I know for a fact that I was put on this earth to drive a Formula 1 car. Right? Have a close look at this picture. I love this picture as well. It's a great analogy. This is a Formula 1 team in action. Formula 1 team in action. Okay, there's someone at the front of the car with a stopwatch and the stop and go sign. There's some people changing tyres. There's some people putting in petrol. They've got someone to even clean the mirrors and even wash the bugs off his helmet visor as well. They've even gone down to that detail. And what does a Formula 1 driver do? Well, he doesn't do anything. He just sits there. He's waiting. When everything's been done around him, then he gets so all the backstage stuff is done. He gets the green light and he's off. He's in the front stage. It's where the cameras are, it's where all the glory is, it's where he's meant to be, it's what he's best at. He does all the front stage, you do all the front stage, that's what we want you to do. All the high-end, the high recognition, the high-paid work, and let someone or something, because really this could be technology as well, but it's someone else's job to do the stuff that's holding you back right now, the stuff that's piling up on your desk. Does this make sense? Does this make sense, guys? Guys, I'm just going to clear the raise your hand button. Love you to just let me know if you're with me. Does that make sense to you? Can you see where you're stuck on this? And can you relate some analogies from this to your business as well? Just raise your hand for me. Let me know. Oh, great. Okay, cool. Got just about everyone raise their hand. That must be making sense. Because everyone in this pit crew. You think about everyone in this pit crew here. They're busy for one reason and one reason only, and that's to make sure that the driver's got everything he or she needs to succeed or be successful at the highest level. That's their job around them. Their job is to make sure that the driver is doing his very best. Because if the driver succeeds, the entire team win. Okay, really, really important here. I reckon Matt Church described it best, and I might even just draw this for you guys if that's yeah. I think I actually forgot to get my iPad up on the screen, so just going to do that now. 2 seconds. Just launch this. Won't take too long. Airplay. Sorry guys, I neglected to put my iPad up on the screen, but here it is. There you go. So guys, just quickly, guys, if you can just grab your worksheets there, and I just want to, I'll get you to draw along with me on this as well. Matt Church just did it really, really well. The best analogy I've ever seen for it. But what he said was this. He goes, there's three parts. There's three parts of flow in your business, and it's kind of like this. And the first part is it's the setup. Right, so I'm just going to write this in, set up, and you can draw it along with me as well. The first part's the setup. So that's everything that you get everything ready, prepared, getting the opportunities, marketing, sales, interaction, prep work before people come in, that sort of thing. Then we have the, I'm going to do it this way, then we have the makeup. He calls it makeup. So I'll do it in here. So we're going to set up, then we're going to make up, which is the most important part of all of this. And only you can do this. It's the advice, the strategy, the new relationships, the sales, the presenting, the keeping in touch. You're keeping in touch with the rules and the regulations and all the knowledge, the CPD, the training, the delivery of the knowledge, in other words. And then the third part of this is what we call cleanup. So we set it. Someone's got to be in charge of the setup. Someone's got to be in charge of the makeup. And then we clean up. So we set up, we make up, and then we clean up. So who's taking your file notes? Who's keeping track of what you're waiting on from clients? Who's chasing up rollovers and paperwork and tax file numbers? Who's updating the database? That sort of thing. Like in your CRM, you think about it. When a client when I used to see a client, I'd see a client. The client would walk out. I'd go back to my office. When the client walked out the door, my assistant, either Daniela or Susanna or any of BJ used to work for us. My CSA would come in after the meeting, right? And when the meeting was finished, she'd be the one who went into the CRM and she looked up the activity of that client meeting, and she'd complete the time that was taken in that meeting. So she'd keep an eye on when the client went in and when the client went out. So I didn't even have to think about it. She'd keep an eye on all of that. And she'd close off that task, and which then automatically forwarded the next part of the thread to the next members in the team, the next person down the chain. And then all I had to do was record my file notes on or my instructions on my iPhone. She'd light up that action and the follow-ups, and it was all done for me. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was talk into my voice recorder, and that would all get loaded up as the file note, and then that would also go to all the people who had to take an action from that next step as well. Even though it was my part of the role, it was an important part of my job, she did it all for me. So she did the CRM work and the cleanup for me. My team took all of that off my hands, so it turned a 20-minute, half-hour job for me into a 3 to 5 minute max job, because they took all of that stuff off me, even though it was on my job description. So they made sure that it only took me 5 minutes, and they did the other 25 or 30. And all because they wanted me to be as efficient and as effective as I possibly could be. So the reality is that they're also better at that stuff than me as well. So they made sure it actually got done, because otherwise they were chasing me to do my follow-up because I never did it properly, and I was too busy, just like you guys are. And instead of, and the reality is also, they were better at it than me. So rather than me screwing it up, they have to come in and fix it anyway. They just did it themselves. So I was left to be awesome at the front stage, and I allowed them to be awesome at the backstage. Okay, so that allowed them to shine as well. So they took my responsibilities off me so that they could be really great at it. And then when it came to performance review and performance bonus time, and just them feeling good about themselves, they were able to shine because I created the space for them to be awesome inside their part of the role. Okay, really, really important. Just quickly on this one here, really, this is the prepare part. If I just finish this off, prepare. This is the prepare. This is the deliver in a planning world. The deliver, and this is the complete. All right. So we set up, we make up, and we clean up in your business. So hopefully you've got that down. Right, let's go back to the. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Because the thing is, once we've got that right, so that way what happened was, I was never bogged down. I was totally in the zone all the time. I was doing what I was meant to do. Like even on this webinar today. I've got JD's on the call. JD is my webinar wingman. It's as simple as that. So she's here making sure that everything's working behind the scenes. She's watching out for questions from you guys, so I don't have to watch the chat box as well as present at the same time. She's going to, at the end of the session, she's going to edit the video, the recording. She's going to upload the recording, and she's going to upload the worksheets to our website. She's going to add some key bullet points, from after the session. I'm going to give her some key bullet points, but that's the only thing I have to do after this session. The only thing for me to do is to give JD a few bullet points that she can put in on the website, because that's all I have to do. She'll upload it all. She'll make sure it works. She'll test it. She'll make a post for you guys in the posse page to let you know that everything's there and it's all good. And I'll be getting on with something else that needs to be done. Now, for me, it's critical. It's absolutely important for you guys to have the recording as quick as we possibly can for those guys who couldn't make it on the call today, or for people who want to revisit this stuff, either the Sabo, hopefully we get it. It's a bit of a slow down, that's the only thing. Sometimes it comes out on Monday. But, it's a massive part of my delivery to you. But do I have to be the one that does it? No, I don't. This is JD's baby. It's a big part of her role, and I've given her the space to be awesome. And when she does it and does it well, and she gives us a link on a Friday afternoon and says, hey, Steve, here's the link. Can you check it out before I post it? And we come back and we high-five each other. I hopefully, JD, you know how much I appreciate and I love it, but I'll tell you how good a job you've done and make her feel really, really special because it's a big part of her role. In fact, heaps of what happens behind the scenes in my job doesn't come from, in this job as well, doesn't come from me. It comes from JD or it comes from Iggy behind the scenes. Okay? They make me look Teflon, so it allows me to focus and not get overwhelmed. All right, so I hope that makes sense and you can see where we're going with this. All right, guys, so what I want to do, I want to just change tack. I'm just going to grab a quick drink of water. Yeah, I'd love to know from you. So we just talked about, heaps of us are feeling a bit overwhelmed. We're spinning too many hula hoops or juggling too many balls in the office. We're feeling stuck, not getting enough done fast enough. So what I want to know from you right now, just while I grab a quick drink, is why you feel, where are you feeling the most friction in your business right now, and why do you think that might be? Okay, so where, is it the client attraction part or the marketing part? Is it the sales process, or having to chase people up or get stuff from them or push them to make a decision, or just chase up file notes and paperwork or whatever it is? Is it after they've been in, there's become a big storm, SHIT storm that happens when a client comes in, they walk out and there's a massive explosion just landed on your desk? Is that the hard part, getting that stuff off your desk and over to someone else? What is it for you? Is it chasing up tax file numbers or pay slips, like I said, super rollovers? Whatever it is for you, I'd love you to do me a favour, type in one or two things that are keeping you stuck and what's causing you the most friction right now, just while I grab a quick drink. I'll give you 10, 15 seconds to do that. Ready, set, go. What's causing you friction? I'd love to know where's the bottlenecks for you. Okay, cool. So William says it's a good way to clearly think about your role in the business. Yeah, totally, mate. Absolutely. I want you to be the surgeon, or you could be the racing car driver. You can choose, no problem. You choose whichever one you prefer. Am I the surgeon or the racing car driver? And be that person. No problem at all. Paul says marketing and not allocating enough time to it as it's been too busy with new clients. Okay, so there you go. So that's a victim of having too many new clients. That's a great thing, but it's also that's also a downside as well. So we've got to work on that. We're going to work on that today. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to give you heaps and heaps of practical stuff around this as well, and how you can get this out of your world forever. Rob says advice delivery distracted with admin. Boom. So that's, you've heard me, you guys have heard me talk about it before, the $260 an hour jobs in your business, or there's $20 jobs. And admin, I reckon, is a $20 an hour job. Not being rude to anyone in admin on the call, but that's just the reality of the world. The advice giver, the income producer, can make a whole lot more money at the same time. Process just not repeatable enough to hand over. Okay, so that's what we've got to think about, the actual process itself. Client follow-up emails, yes, Steve. Reviewing other staff work, that's interesting. Love to know a bit more detail about that, Steve. Reviewing other staff work, tell me about that. That might be vetting SOAs and the like. So we want to make that repeatable and make that flow. Susan says marketing, boom. Yeah, it's a process, isn't it? We're feeling overwhelmed with what's required for marketing, LinkedIn strategy, profile, brochures, and following up the process. Yeah, okay, yeah, just got to follow it up. It's got to get done. So again, doesn't have to be you that's doing that. Exactly right. What else, guys? Other things? Give me one or two more. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't typed in, I'd love to hear from you, Andrew, Benny, Lindsay, Matt, Sanya. Love to hear from you guys. What's overwhelming you guys? Please, Andrew, Rick. Yeah, what about you? I know you guys are feeling a bit snowed under. Let me know from you. No? Okay, all right, cool. Look, hey, what a list we got anyway. Okay, thanks, Benny. Good, focusing on getting deals done as quickly as possible, neglecting marketing, exactly. Because, yeah, so someone could be doing that marketing for you or taking some of that work off you. Or if it's the getting the deals done, what is it what is it as part of the admin side of things or the follow-up side, sort of the setup or the cleanup that we could be giving someone else that you could get that business through faster. Exactly right, Benny. You're totally right. Okay, great, guys. Awesome. And I love the thinking here, but you think about that list. I wonder how much actual $260 an hour work there is inside in many of those processes. There's a little bit there, but not a lot, I've got to say. All right, let's go to the next section here. So what I want to do, guys, from you, so is that not moving? Oh, there we go. Okay, so guys, so what's Teflon got to do with all this? What's Teflon got to do with being a financial planner? Because I mean, Teflon's that stuff that you spray on a fry pan, so stuff doesn't stick, and you can slide your egg straight onto the plate, or grilled cheese, and put it straight on your toast. I know that's what I use Teflon for. So what's Teflon got to do with me? I'm sure you're asking. I'm glad you asked. The thing is, I reckon there's a heap of people on this call right now that have got a whole bunch of stuff that's sticking to them in their business or in your business, basically. You finish appointments with work to do. That's a big issue, right? You didn't frame up how important it was for people to bring in certain items in the first meeting, so you have to follow that up. You got a whole bunch of sort of techie or strategy stuff that you got to do, right? There's always heaps of bits that stick to you, weigh you down, stop you from doing more of what you should be doing, and even getting home in time to have dinner with the kids or tuck them into bed at night as well. That's the other thing. You're stuck at the office doing this stuff when you really should be home with your kids at a certain reasonable hour. And that's what your family expects from you as well. So you stay back in the office. You're the one that stays back. No one else is around. It's dark. It's quiet. It's lonely. You've got it into your brain that you've got to do this stuff because that's just how it is. All right? Who's feeling me here? I want to know if you just raise your hand for me if you're feeling if you're picking up what I'm putting down there. I stay back at work because I just always have stayed back at work. Right, exactly. I'm the one that's got to do it. You've set yourself up for just how it is right now, and you set it up so that everyone else is allowed to walk out of the office at 4:59 p.m. in the afternoon on the dot. Right, never 5:01. It's all normally 4:59. It could be 5:01, but either one's bad enough. I said to my guys, if you're going to leave early, at least leave 15-20 minutes early. Don't wait till the 1 minute before. And if you're going to leave at 5:01, just stay back to 5:10. Stick around a silly number, 5:01 right on the dot. Don't leave right on the dot or right just after the dot. Anyway, that's another story. So you've allowed people to leave right on the dot so that you can take and you take up the slack and stay at 11 o'clock. Does that sound familiar? So my hope right now is that I want you to take on this mindset of, instead of being overwhelmed, stuck, and bogged like we talked about earlier, I want you to have a mindset of this Teflon analogy. In your mind, from this point forward, from today on, nothing sticks to me, stuff slides straight off me, everything flows, just like the kids do when they go down a water slide, okay? That's what I want you to be thinking. I want you to have this emblazoned into your brain. Everything you pick up, I want you to be thinking, is this Teflon? Is this going to land on my desk and stay there? Okay? So here's 3 big tips that are going to give you the Teflon edge, okay? So I think these 3 things are going to be a really, really important part of the next phase of your business career. The first one's this. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, the first thing I want you to do, and I'll get you to jot all these things down, guys. If you haven't been taking notes, please start that now. Here's where I want you to take some notes. So first thing I want you to do, I want you to examine your activity. Okay, I want you to examine your activity. I don't know about you, but one of the things I hated about my financial planning business was when I had to get my audit done. Now, I couldn't stand it. To me, it was just like a disruption to my day. I was doing everything right, and I've got this person going to take up a day of my quarter or a day of my 6 months to do this to audit. But back in the early days, we really didn't do it that well, and we didn't give it that much thought, to be honest. We'd do the client work, we'd make sure it was all completed, we'd quickly put the file away, and then when it came time for the audit week, we'd frantically go through all the files, me included, and we'd pick up all the files we worked on the past 6 months, we'd go through them all to make sure they're up to scratch. They were okay, but we'd just go through and make sure that we had everything checked off after the event. Okay, we'd spend hours doing it and not know whether they were going to ask us for those files, but the reality is we had to do them all in one go back in the day. There was this frantic panic, and we were hoping and praying that we got it all right. everyone I said, look, hang on, stop, hold on, this is crazy. You know, why don't we step through, make a list of what needs to be done, and what stage of the process does it need to be done, who does that particular part of it right now, you know, who's doing it currently, and what's the exact process that we want, and how long should each task take, and what's the logical order of things for a file, and how do we do these things along the way instead of having this crazy panic at the end. So, yeah, and we've decided to get smart about the way that our compliance audit thing was done. Okay, but what happened? Here's the thing. You know, the reason that was important is because, you know, in doing that process, we're actually able to step back and identify what was working in that process, and also identify a whole heap of things that weren't. So, who were doing the things that someone else could be doing? You know, and we took it as an opportunity to actually get above the business and take a pause and ask ourselves if you know, if this was the best way to be doing it, and if the right person had that task in their hand or on their desk. And it's in that pause that the biggest breakthroughs come. Okay, so the biggest breakthroughs come in the pause just after a great question. Guys, can I get you to jot that down, please? The biggest breakthroughs come in the pause just after a great question. It's the same in financial planning when you're doing your meet and greet meetings as well. Great question asked, pause, and that's when you're going to get your best breakthrough. Okay, so it doesn't happen in the frantic day-to-day of your life. It doesn't happen when you're in the zone and you're thinking about your clients or your strategy or your technical stuff. It doesn't come in the busyness of your work. The greatest breakthroughs come in the pause just after a great question. And so what I want you to do, I want you to take an audit of every activity that you're currently doing, everything that's on your desk, in your job description, in your world right now. Okay, we've all talked about it, we've heard about it before. Some of you on this call might have even done this when you first met me as well, but now it's time. What I want you to do, I want us now to trim again. Okay, we want to find out every activity that's taken up your time, your energy, your effort, opportunity cost. Figure out what you're doing and whether that should be in your space or should it be in someone else's space that's probably better at it than you. And then, and only then, can we decide whether you should be doing that task, even if it's worth doing. Okay. And what sort of priorities we should give it as well. I mean, spend 10 or 15, or even, you know, even 30 minutes, even if it takes you an hour. I just want you to get down all the different activities that are stuck to you, basically, that are stuck to you. Okay, not Teflon, it's stuck. It's Velcro, in other words. Some will be good things, some won't be good, and some will be just plain crazy. Some of the tasks that you've got in your desk you're gonna think, holy cow, how did this get to be my job? Okay. And we can decide what stays and what goes. So whether it should stick or whether it should be Teflon and get passed down the chain from front stage down to backstage. Because I'm assuming everyone on this call is front stage. Okay, and I know there's some admin people on the call as well, and you're going to be the backstage, and that's great as well. You're going to be awesome at it. So we need to think about today. We need to think about yesterday, next week, next month, in the next quarter. What are repetitive tasks? What are one-offs? What makes money? You can jot these down if you can keep up. Sorry guys, I'm going a bit fast there. So just jot these down. These are all the things I want you to think about. Today, yesterday, tomorrow, next week, next month, next quarter. Repetitive tasks. One-off tasks. What makes money? What doesn't make money? What do you love? What are things that you love doing in your day-to-day world? What do you like? Yeah, what do you do because you just have to do it? You're just used to doing it. You know, that's another good one to think about. What do I absolutely hate doing and just do because I've always done it as well? What are the things that you hate doing? What are the things that you just do not want to be around anymore, but you're just doing it because you've always done it? You know, so we've got to do an audit on yourself and get it all out on paper so we can make a conscious decision about what to do about it. So the problem is we're too often we're running around chasing rabbits, aren't we? Here, there, everywhere. So we need to pause, take stock, make sure we know, you know what we're doing and what's within our scope and what's not in our scope, and why, and if we are doing that, why are we doing it? Okay. So we can basically, at the end of the day, we can choose to keep what we want and we can choose to delete from our world what we don't want. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in a minute. But it all starts with the audit. Okay. Examine what you do So it's all in one spot. And no, I don't mean one of those. I don't mean one of those dorky 15-minute increment worksheet things that your BDMs give you, and they say, here, write out down every 10 or 15 minutes, what you're doing, and you get so annoyed with it because it keeps interrupting your day 100 times over, and you never get more than 1 or 2 days done, because they're a pain in the backside. No, I don't mean that. I mean stop. Just take a bit of time, and I'm going to help you with that in a minute, and just get it out of the way. Get it done there and then. Okay? I guarantee that when you do this, you'll find heaps of things that you've been doing that you shouldn't be doing, and that's the first step. That's what we want. Just figuring out what's been sticking to you, and so we can do something about it. Then we can break it down into categories once we've done that. It's like we talked about with the hula hoops before. There's a marketing category. You can jot this down, guys. Marketing, selling, admin, compliance. There's learning, isn't there? There's client service. There's back office stuff. There's heaps of back office stuff you'll find that you aren't doing because it's just there and you don't even think about it. There's referrals, alliance partnerships, there's study, there's keeping up with the markets, finance, payroll, HR, team meetings, that's sort of the day-to-day running of the business. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, ad hoc. Cool. Okay, so there's a whole heap of different categories there. So principle number 1 is I want you to self-audit. I want you to self-examine. Tip number 2 is, once you've done that, once you've walked through all your activities, you know what you're doing, and you know what's taking up your time, what's keeping you back in the office late at night, you know what's valuable and what's not valuable use of your time, okay? Once you've got that big long list of everything that you do, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to identify your strengths, okay? I want you to identify your strengths. Just something to keep in mind. I want you to know that not all tasks were created equally, and that's why we've got the statue of David on the screen there. Not all tasks were created equally. You weren't created to handle every job in your business. Every task in your business was not meant to be stuck to you. Okay? There's going to be some tasks in the business that you're absolutely rubbish at. Okay? Let's face it, let's be honest, there's heaps of things in my business that I'm so bad at. Not even bad. I'm terrible, I'm awful, I'm abysmally woeful at some things in my business, in the financial planning business and even in my coaching business now. There's some things that I'm hopeless at. Okay, and I reckon it might just be, maybe just be the same for you as well. There's some things that you're doing that you're not that good at. So you've heard me talk about the genius exercise. You know what I'm talking about. This is Dan Sullivan's brainchild, but he talks about incompetent. So you might want to jot these down as well. So most of you know, but just jot it down for me again. So this is incompetent. Stuff that you're hopeless at, in other words. It slows you down. It's tedious. You don't enjoy it. You actually mess it up, and you don't get any satisfaction from it at all. And then the next level is competent. So competent. So you're okay at it. You know how to do it. It's stuff that you've learned over time because you needed to do it, but it's just become a bit of a habit. You can't be bothered taking the time to show someone else how to do this thing, so it's still on your list, or you don't feel that you can palm it off to anyone else, so you get stuck with it. And it's often this is the thing this is the stuff that causes you the most stress because you're just doing it for doing its sake. You should be with someone else, but you've just got it in your lap or on your desk. Okay? You can delegate it, but you just keep saying it's quicker for me to do this myself. And that's a really big one. I want you to eliminate from your life. Yeah, absolutely. Get that out of your world. So then he talks about excellence. So we've got incompetent, we've got competent, and then he talks about excellence. So excellence is the stuff you're great at. It's the higher end stuff that you do in your business. Maybe you don't love these tasks, but you've got to a level of excellence with it. People comment when you do it. People notice it. You've got a reputation, and I've got to say, this excellent stuff, you having a reputation with it, usually the reputation's within your business. Okay? You've got a reputation, but it's not out in the world, it's actually within your business because it's only because people don't want to do it or they haven't been given it. They make you feel like you're excellent at it. It's part of who you are, and it's not really what drives you either. You're really, really good at it, but not the actual driving force. And then there's what we call genius. Okay? And the genius is where I want you to be. When you're in your genius, everything just flows. It is Teflon. It comes naturally. You get excited on the way to work because you know you've got some genius activities in your diary today. It's what makes you the money. It's what gives you the most meaning. It gives you the biggest impact on you and on your clients at the same time, on your business. So the Genius tasks of what got you into financial planning in the first place. That's why you're in it, to do the Genius stuff. Okay. You don't have to think, you just do. When you're doing it, you're at your best. When you're doing Genius work, you're at your best. So think about it, guys. When you're at your best, what are the roles that you're playing in your business? What are you doing when you're doing it at your very best? Okay, you're in your rhythm. You've got flow. Everything's good when you're in your Genius, right? I know for a fact that's the same for me. Okay, you get really great results from it as well. For everyone involved, everyone gets great results when you're in your Genius, and you're uniquely awesome at it. So I reckon a couple or 3 hours in your Genius is better than an entire week of you being in your excellence, your competence, and certainly your incompetence. Okay, so once we've got that big list, then we're going to categorize that list into 4 baskets: Genius, excellence, because it's that list of things that you just got to do. But they're either going to be in your Genius, they're going to be in your excellence, in your competence, and in your incompetence. Okay? So that's what I want you to think about. That way you'll be able to decide what should stick to you and what should flow down the chain to someone else. And someone else, we want to pass this off to someone else, so these things that are in your excellence, competence, and incompetence can be their Genius. As well, we want to pass it down so someone else can be Genius at the stuff that you don't want to be. And I reckon that's a pretty good place to be. All right, guys, just quickly, I want to ask you, I'd love you to do me a favour. I just want to get your interaction just for a second. I'd love you to do me a favour, find the question box and type me in 2 things that you'd call your Genius. So I want to know from you, what are your things that you'd put on that list straight away, right off the bat, without a shadow of a doubt, what would be on your Genius list? So if you can give me 1, 2 or 3 things, if you can think of what are the top 1, 2 or 3 things that you'd put on your Genius list. So I'll give you 20 seconds to type that into the question box, and we'll go from there. Let's see what you've got on your Genius list. Ready, set, go. Let me just read out some of the Genius stuff that you're doing. William says, mate, I'm pretty sure, looking at the time, I'm pretty sure application forms was one of the things that you stuck by, William, so I'll assume that is not your Genius, application forms. Rob, investment strategy, yes. Matt says, talking to people, exactly right. Relationship building, client conversion, maintaining relationships with clients, exactly right. Strategy solutions, building trust, yes. Strategy, truly getting clients to open right up to me, exactly right. You think about this, guys. All of these things I'm reading out, these could be on your Genius list, every one of you, right? And in fact, all of these things should be on all of your Genius lists. So as I'm reading them out, investment and strategy, talking to people, relationship building, client conversion, maintaining relationships with clients, strategy solutions, building trust, strategy, truly getting people to open up. Benny says relationships with clients and referrers, yes. What I hate doing, was filling in forms, exactly, William. I got that. Yep, thank you. Simple explanations, dude. How about we explain all this technical stuff in English to you, Mr. and Mrs. Client? Would that be okay with you? Thank you. Thank God someone's doing that. Technical, yes, Lindsay. SMS, Centrelink, retirement strategy, maintain relationships, perfect. So these are all things that I reckon every person on this call should have on their Genius list, and there's a whole heap more there as well. So you guys know what's in your Genius, but if you think about that little bit of a list compared to what you're doing day to day, how many of those things, how many things on your big fat list are not really in the Genius list? And it's got to make you wonder, holy cow, why am I doing it when I've got all this awesome Genius stuff that I could be doing? Stuff that actually is valuable and makes money too. All right, great, guys. Thank you for that. That's really cool. Thirdly, so what we've done then, if we do this right, we're going to self-analyse, and we've done an audit on our activities. We've identified our strengths and also our weaknesses as well. And then what we're going to do, we're going to systemise like there's no tomorrow. Okay, we're going to make it methodical, mechanical. Okay. We're going to systemize the hell out of this puppy. Whatever's left, we're going to systemize it and create a system for everything else we do, so you know it's getting done the way you want it done. And we're going to make those incompetent and competent tasks systemized so they're done easily and they're done over and over and over again, repeatable and replicatable. We did a little bit of training on that on the Tuesday shirt last week with Danielle. So there's a couple of tools inside the Vault that are going to help you build those processes, and they're simple. A lot of guys are saying earlier that I don't have a system for making things repeatable. Okay, go to the Vault and download the unique process the unique method and the process builder, and dude, you knock out a process in 8 minutes. Done, finished, never to be thought of again. Okay, so we're going to make sure that all these things get done without any input from you. Will someone else own those tasks? And will they be able to show their genius inside those tasks? Yes, absolutely they will. But we're going to show them how we want it done, and we're going to let them own the outcome we want. So just write that down, guys, please. It's a really important one. We want someone else to own the outcome that we want from these processes. So we're going to systemize the process so we can humanize the exception. We want 80% of your business systemized and process-driven, so that you can then humanize the 20% of stuff that goes on in the world, in your business, in life, because nothing runs perfectly. It's just reality. And yeah, so we're going to systemize the processes so we can humanize the exception. We get our hands dirty, or your team could get their hands dirty fixing up the 10 or 20% of things that don't run absolutely perfectly the way we want. So we want great systems and checklists so that you don't have to do them anymore. You can hand them over to someone else, someone more qualified, someone better suited to doing the work than you, and they want to do it more than you as well. That's the other thing. You don't want to do it. They probably do. So let's give it to them. Okay? So if you do it right, you'll never have to touch any of these things ever again. That's what I mean by Teflon. So number one, we're going to make a big fat list of everything you do. You audit that list and you figure out what's in, what's out, what you should keep, what you should handball. Then you categorize it into incompetence, competence, excellence, and genius. And then we keep the genius. At this stage, I want you to keep the genius and the excellence for now. And we remove the competence and the incompetence away from you. It doesn't have to be today, but we need to start with the list, the starting point. When I first started this, guys, I didn't get it done straight away. All my goal was, and this could be a good goal for you, my goal was to get 30 minutes more free every week when I first started this process. 30 minutes freedom per week. And it's amazing when I just started with that bite-sized chunk. That was sort of the target that I had in my head. Okay? Amazing what happens. And then thirdly, we're going to create systems and checklists so that we make sure it's done properly and it's done to your standards every single time. My coach Taki calls it documenting the drudgery. That's what I feel a lot of this. My incompetence and my competence and incompetence, I call that the drudgery. I don't want to do it. I'm not interested. And it's just not a pleasant place to be. Okay. So is this helping, guys? I love you. Just raise your hand for me. We're going to go into some detail now, do work on the worksheets, and timing's pretty good, so that's good. So just raise your hand for me. Let me know. Is this helping? Is this valuable? Are you getting value out of what we've done so far? Is it making sense? Is it helping? I really want you to relate some of the analogies that I've used today, because I think they're really good analogies for a financial planning business. I want you to relate them to what you're doing day to day and what your team are doing, or what they should or shouldn't be doing in your business. Well, I really hope it resonates, because this will free you up, guys. Okay. Right, so what I'd love you to do right now is I'd love you to grab your worksheet, and you should have this couple of different pages in the worksheet. And I'd love you to do me a favour, grab those right now. I'm going to bring my iPad over onto the screen so you guys can see it. We're going to have a bit of a play and go through this worksheet now. So we've done the sort of the tactic part, but now we want to do some implementation. So I'm going to walk this through with you today. So hopefully you've got a lot of this stuff done before we leave. Right, so we're looking at the the step one, the audit your activity, step one basically. So we're going to do an audit right now. We're not going to do one of those 15-minute time in motion things that the BDMs all want you to do, or your dealer groups. We're going to just write a list. So there's what do you call it? There's columns there, and the columns really don't have any meaning. They're just so it's a bit neater for you, okay? And I'm not going to write in there because it'll be too slow. The writing's too slow on these, but I'm going to help you out with it, okay? So, guys, what I want you to do, I just want you to brainstorm by yourself if you're there on your own, or if you're in a group. Maybe it's easy to brainstorm with the group, and I just love you. We're going to take 5 to 8 minutes and just write a list of things that, the tasks that are performed in your business in this space underneath. Okay, there's no columns. It doesn't have to be. You just jot them in any way, shape, or form. All right. So I want you to use these sort of words to trigger you as well. Last week, monthly, marketing, sales, content. The words we used earlier. Repetitive. Content, clients, team, technology, anything under those sort of headings. Just I want you to jot them all down, Some of you have done this before, but I want you to just do it again. We want to make this is basically an activity inventory. Okay, so we want to make sure it's right, and we're going to add to it. We're going to make this a big, long list. So I just want you to start writing down some of the things that have to happen in your business, okay, from all angles, all the different parts of it, okay. So, you think about it. There's PD, there's training. And I'm just going to help you with a bit of a list here, guys. You can write your own. I want you to write really, really fast. There's no right or wrong. Jot down as many things. This is a brainstorm. You just write down all the stuff, but I'll just throw out a few ideas and write them down if you think they're relative to you. So, there's, like I said, there's keeping up with the CPD and training. There's admin. It's client follow-up, isn't there? There's chasing up super funds and rollover forms, insurance paperwork, underwriting queries. There's alliance partner nurture. There's filing. Think about it. Data entry. Stuff's got to get, client admin work. Inquiries. I just want you to write these big lists. No order. There's no particular. This is all random. Okay, we just want to get it down inside those columns. Just the columns that just keep it a bit neater. Email. Yeah, inbox management, isn't it? Appointment booking. Appointment admin. So you think about it before an appointment comes in. We send them a welcome email, don't we? We send them a wow pack in the mail. Appointment reminder text gets sent out, the SMS reminder. We make coffee and tea for clients when they come in the door. The meeting prep. The appointment kits are made ready ready for you before the meeting. We book meetings from meetings. We book appointments from those meetings. We bam fan, don't we? Client follow-up. They didn't bring the pay slips or the tax file number, or they only bring 2 out of their 9 superannuation fund statements, or whatever it happens to be. There's HR. Review. What do they call it? Performance reviews. Okay, that sort of thing. Team meetings. Unfortunately, you're the chair of your team meetings, aren't you? So one thing I did in this team meeting, so we've had a stand-up at 10 for years now, and I made Daniela the chair of the meeting. So it was her job to prepare the meeting agenda before the meeting. It was her job to call the meeting at 10 so she'd buzz around the office and say, guys, meeting's on in 3 minutes, you need to be around by the tribal council area. She'd run the meeting, and I'd just sit back, and all I'd have to do is provide my analysis of what's happened over the course of the week, what have I got on today, and what's going to happen by the end of the day, and any stucks I had. So someone else chaired the meeting. Birthday cards, client functions, if you do that, the coordination of all the client functions. So I'm just trying to help you build a big long list, guys. If you're doing any of these things, write them down. Incoming calls, someone's got to answer the phone, don't they? Clients, well, we've got to do our meet and greet. We do the fact find. We do plan presentation. We do the handover meeting, don't we? We do the review meeting. So they're all things that need to be done. There's marketing. There's blogs. There's videos. Emails. So you've got doing the marketing is one thing, but then you've got to post those things and host them, and you've got to publish and edit stuff. You've got to make sure things get done. Make sure that things are proofread before anything goes out, even statements of advice or marketing or anything like that. There's record keeping. What else you got there? What else we got? Letters of authority. We need to send those out, and we need to follow them up to make sure the super funds have actually received them, so that our power planner, our strategist, can ring and gather the details. Advise the product providers when people change client details, or change addresses, or change bank accounts, or credit cards. Other things, binding nominations. Feedback forms, because we send feedback forms in the mail as well. So someone's got to go to the post office. Someone's got to do the stationery order. Once a month you've got to update. Run out of paper, run out of ink for the printer, those sort of things. Need coffee, tea. Someone's got to do all that. Printing plans. What else? Prepare apps. If there's anything that what I'd love you to do, I just want you to write down. This is so relevant. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, mate. Steve, I have to leave. No worries, Susan. But loving it so far. Okay, sorry you have to leave. You can listen to the recording later, Susan. I'd love you to type in 3 to 5 things into the chat box just now. Do me a favour, just type in 3 to 5 things that you've got on your list. Maybe even things that I haven't called out. But what did you have on your list before I started? I'll just I'd love to know. Just type into the chat box for me. Just play the game with me a little bit in the chat box as well, so I can feel like I'm Getting some love and talking to you. And I can have a drink of water. This is really good, guys. This is really good. We're auditing our activity. We're taking an inventory of what we're doing. Yeah, fund reconciliation, says Rob. Absolutely. Yeah, especially if you're hands-on, you're dealing with self-managed super funds or share portfolios or model portfolios. What else you got, guys? Type in for me. What's some other things that you've got that you do in your business that I haven't read out so far? I've had a pretty good think about this, but yeah, you want to think about like your job description or your threads in your CRM. What are some of the things that happen in there? So if you haven't typed that in, please do me that. What else do I've got on my list here? API monitoring, of course. Prepare and review list for the month as well. So, on the 25th day of each month, Daniela used to walk into my office with the list of clients that are up for the review in the next month on the 25th day of the month. That was part of the process. And she'd print the list. I'd walk through the list quickly just with a pen and, cross out any that I'd seen or, that I knew that weren't going to come in or, whatever it happened to be. I'd just cull the list and make sure the list was right, write any notes that I wanted next to each person, and bang, that was it. That was the part of the process done. So you've got to prepare the review list. Paul says, do presentations for seminars, send per third-party authorities, yes. Send gift cards for referrals, absolutely right. These are all things that need to be done. We've got to prepare outgoing mail. We have to sort and distribute incoming mail. Someone's got to do that. These things get done in your business. Petty cash, lodgements, daily backup if you've got a server in your office there. Someone's got to do the daily backup. For years, I used to stay back at night after everyone was gone, and before I'd leave the office at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, I'd run the freaking backup tape. Oh, my God. I did that for years. It was so crazy. Strategy, power planning request, allocation of investment spending. Thanks, mate. Insurance suspense management. Exactly. It's a huge one. Insurance suspense management. Exactly right. Chasing up bad credit card details or someone's missed a payment. Don't want the insurance to lapse, nor do they, by the way, but we don't either for our business. Pipeline management, file notes, presentations for sign-ups, exactly. Yeah, good, Benny, that's a great list. What else have I got here? Filing, answer phones, monitor workflow, file notes, we'll come back to that. Strategy prepared, so we've got to get the strategy to the power planner so that they can prepare the strategy, right? William says CRM, review reports, letters to fund managers, follow-up, research, website. You've got to do your website. Paraplanning, insurance follow-ups, file notes, exactly right. I've got here, adding email correspondence to CRM. So, again, someone sends you, a client sends an email, someone's got to drop and drag that into their CRM folder, don't we? Does it have to be you? That's the beauty of, again, one of the things we did, there was an SS secret squirrel email address that came to me privately, but there was the Steve Salvia email address, and that email address was the one that I gave clients and BDMs and fund managers and everyone like that, and it went straight to Daniela. And her job was the 4D. She did it herself. She decided when. She delegated, including me. So I was one of the delegatees. Or we ditch it. And she'd make that decision. So out of 60, 70, 80 emails I'd get a day, I might see 5. That was great. And I only saw them because I needed to do it. Yeah, email correspondence. Yes, networking, appointment making, strategy planning. I'm hoping you're writing these things down, guys. I hope you're helping because we want a big, fat, long list, massive list of all things you do in your business. Complete SOAs. What have we got there? Client. Switching investments. So investment forms, rebalancing, portfolio modelling, plan modelling, building procedures. Procedures have to be built, right? Someone's got to build them. New business like increases, switch forms, workflow board. Someone's got to manage the workflow board as well. So you should have a visual representation of where the business is at. Okay, and they're the things that we want to do. Right, so that's a pretty good list. Really good list. Okay, so what we want to do then, I'm actually going to write a few in. I want you. You don't have to have all of those things, but yeah, I'd love you to. So what we want to do, we want to time code those into daily, into weekly, into monthly, into quarterly, and then into ad hoc. So I'm going to just jot a few in. There's things that need to be done daily. I'm going to help you. So I want you to basically go do the same thing, same exercise as well, guys. I want you to, write in a few things that are in your. I want you to, even if you just come up with 5 things that are in your day. What are in your daily tasks? So there's client admin, right? Client admin is something that needs to be done daily. There's email inbox management. Email, you can write down whatever you want from your list there. Email inbox management, you know what that means. What else have we got on this list? I'll just pick some random ones. Incoming calls. Incoming calls. So you don't have to finish all this, but just I want you to take 5 off your list that you think are daily tasks. Incoming calls, all right? And you're going to do this better after we finish, but I'm just going to get you started today. What else is there? Prepare outgoing mail. Outgoing mail. These are things that don't get done daily. And what about the team meeting, your stand-up? I call it the stand-up meeting. Stand-up. You should be having your team meeting. Everyone should be having that by now, right? So, we call that the 10 at 10 past 10. I love our stand-up meetings. They're great. Okay, so it gets everyone. Okay, so there's sort of some of the things, and you're going to have a whole heap more. What else? Just off my list here. Client admin, client follow-up, super fund follow-up. Insurance underwriting, insurance claims. If you've got a claim, you should be following that up every single day. Data entry needs to be done, otherwise it backs up. Appointment admin. Your welcome email, your wow packs, things like that. Coffee and tea you need to do daily because people come in daily. Meeting prep, so you've got meetings that you've got to be prepared for every single day. Like I said, chair the team meeting. Does it have to be done by you? We'll think about that in a minute. Mailbox, that sort of thing. Okay, weekly tasks. Let's think about the weekly tasks. So someone, on my list here, someone's got to do the bookkeeping, right? Once a week, we need the bookkeeping, the bills paid, and all the admin done, that side of things. Filing, we used to make that a weekly job. So we'd have a filing tray, and once a week Daniela would go in, because we didn't have to file every day. It was we didn't think that was efficient. So once a week we did the filing. What else? Letters of authority. LOA, that's what you were talking about there, William. So letters of authority follow-up. So once a week we might have 20 or 30 different super funds or insurance companies that we needed authority for. We'd like to say, right, spend an hour once a week, Daniela, and chase all those up and make sure they've all got them so that the power planner can call them, that sort of thing. So what else have we got there? Advice product providers. So product providers. We've run out of brochures. Someone changed their address details. What else? Someone's changed the credit card number for their direct debit. That sort of thing. What else have we got weekly there? Advice. Info gathering. So from the LOA, we've got to gather the client info. So I'll just say info gather. Right, so they're the things, there's just 5 things from the list that are done weekly. What about monthly? Let's think about monthly for a minute. So there's monthly tasks. So I reckon marketing goes in there. Right, marketing goes in there. So that's your blog. You can do a blog. So you can jot these down, whatever you want to write in there, guys, off your list there. Blog, your videos, if you're going to do videos, there's a few of you guys doing those now, which are great. Your emails, your long-term nurture, so that's your LTN, long-term nurture. That's sort of a monthly task, isn't it? What else we got? Feedback forms. So we used to chase up feedback forms once a month. So we'd send out feedback forms after the event. We'd done the handover meeting. People would take the feedback form away. I'd get now, if it was me these days, I'd actually have an online form for them to do that with. But in the old days, we used to chase up forms. So feedback form chase up. We do that once a month. What else we got there? So this is monthly. Adding email correspondence. So email correspondence. Emails to CRM. So once a month, Daniela, we'd have the the Steve Self email address. Daniela would go through, we'd pick a date in the month and diarise it. She'd just go back through that month and look for all of the emails that came in from clients, and then she'd just drop and drag those into the CRM. So we had a record. So she didn't have the time to stop and do it every single day, but one day per month she'd block out an hour and she'd do email CRM, drop and drag, basically. Drop and drag it over to client folder. So that's 1, 2, 3. What else we got there on monthly? Binding nomination expiry. Binding nom expiries. So once a month, we'd get the list that they were, because we've got a couple of months' notice, obviously, as we do. Expiries. So we'd get a list, And once a month, Daniela would get on the phone and say, hey, John, just calling about your bonding nomination. We've just received the form. We're just wondering if you received the form to update your bonding nomination. It's been 3 years. And I just wanted to, if you haven't got that, can I send it out to you now? And we'd do that once a month. Again, she'd block out an hour, bring up the 5, 8, 10 different people who were expiring that month, and it was done on a monthly basis. You see where we're going with this, guys? So we can then figure out who this is. We're putting a time code on this, okay? And, you know, what's one more? Prepare review list. Okay, and prepare the review list. Prep review list for the month. 25th day of the month was our thing on the 25th. So 5 days before the end of the month, before the first we'd send the review letters out, we'd get a list for that. Okay, think about it. So that we've done any quarterly tasks, but, you know, we did things like quarterly HR reviews. Okay, see how the bigger picture? HR reviews. We do function coordination. So once a month we'd say, okay, have a theme for the quarter, and we'd figure out what function we were going to have. Function. So it was either going to be a private client briefing, or it was going to be a seminar, or it was going to be a workshop, or it was going to be a referral partner event. Once a quarter we would do an event to build rapport, build relationship, but also get new clients as well. That sort of thing. But we did that quarterly. Once a quarter we'd plan out the next quarter. What's the theme for the quarter and what we're going to do? KPI monitor we used to do. KPI monitor. So I'd have a meeting with the ops manager once a month just to check the numbers and check the balance sheet, the spreadsheets, make sure the income was doing what it was meant to do. Business planning and advisory board we used to have once a quarter. Advisory board meeting as well. So I'd meet with my ops manager so that we prepare for our advisory board meeting once a quarter. Okay? But again, daily tasks, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and then there was ad hoc tasks. Think about this, ad hoc tasks. So what are ad hoc tasks? You know, it's things like ordering stationery. It's an ad hoc task. Printing plans, let's say. Print plans before meetings. So, you know, we don't know when they are, so we've just got to do them on the hop as they come in, you know, the day before. Once it's all vetted and it gets signed off and the CRM activity gets pushed to the next person, the next part of the thread was print the plan. So Daniela knows the day before the plan's got to be printed and bound with all the paperwork attached to it with the big lucky band around it, as I've told you guys before. Prepare the apps. Prep the applications. Okay, so those two things kind of go together. But actually used to do the preparing of the apps. Danielle used to print the plan. What else we do on that sort of appointment making? Well, that's ad hoc. And I'm just picking on one there. Oh, file notes. So file notes were done as they were done, right? But again, my role was simply to record my file notes and record a voice message to my client to say, hey, it was a great meeting today, really enjoyed it, this is what we covered, this is what you said you'd do, this is what I said I'd do, this is our next step, this is what we're waiting on, have a great week, and I'll talk to you next Thursday. And that's all I needed to do. So a little note to say what the file note was, and then a little voicemail to say that could be sent out to the client as some follow-up. So that's what we've done. So we've basically time-coded our tasks now, okay? So we've got things broken up into daily, weekly, month. And you're going to expand on this list too, guys. I'm just giving you help here, 5 of it, but there's heaps more. So you might do this on the whiteboard. You might have a couple of pieces. You might have one sheet of paper or one spreadsheet page for each one of these. It doesn't matter. This is just to get out of your head and just do an order on it. And you're going to do the list. Your list is going to be longer. Okay. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and just then random ad hoc tasks. Next part is to do we want to put them into excellence. We want to put them into competence, and then incompetence as well. Now we don't have to do that right now, but here's what the headings are. We're going to say this for genius. So these are the genius tasks. So we're going to take from that list. Oh, sorry guys, I've just missed it. What you want to do in here, once you've done this big long list, I want you to circle the things that you are the person that should be doing it. Okay? So I want you to circle them in Genius, excellence, competent, and incompetent. So, you know, you're going to go around and you're going to find, you know, HR reviews, well, they're kind of got to be done by you, right? What else is going to be done by you? KPI monitoring, that's normally done by you. Being on and participating in the advisory board, that's normally done by you. You know, client meetings, the meet and greet, I haven't put them in here, but the meet and greet, the fact find, the plan presentation, the handover meeting, the review meeting, you know, they're all done by you. Alliance partner nurturing, that's done by you. Strategic planning, yes, that's done by you. What else we got? We've got alliance partner nurturing, training, CPD, PD, that's your job. Reading, keeping up with the knowledge, that's you, that's green. Okay, that's got to be genius. What else have I got? The strategies, the actual strategy. So they're all the genius parts of the role. And then you're going to have excellence. So you're going to go into the next level. So excellence. You're going to go back to your big list, and then you're going to circle the things that you're not genius at, that you don't want to be doing, that you're good at, but they don't really jazz you. You're going to write in your list in here. You're going to write a big list of things that you're excellent. So we want a few things in here. Yeah, 6, 7, 8 key tasks. Then some other things that you're good at. You're going to write in as excellent. Okay, then the next part of this, you're going to go back to your big fat list, and you want to write in what you're competent at. So that's orange light. All right, and we're just going to do the same thing. And now we want this list to be bigger. We want a whole heap of things from your big fat list that you're going to think more and more and more about, and you're going to add to that list and make it massive. We want a whole heap of things that you're simply competent at. You're not genius, they're not excellent, you're okay, you're good at them, but you don't want to do them anymore. You definitely shouldn't be doing them. And then the last one we want to do is we want to add to the incompetence list. Now what you'll find is that the biggest incompetence list to be good at. But there's not going to be that many things, because you guys are pretty good, right? You guys are pretty skillful. There's going to be a few things that you're incompetent at, okay? But the bulk of your stuff that we want to get rid of is going to be in here. It's going to be in this. It's going to be in this competence section, right? Because the stuff that you're good at, you just happen to have learnt it over time, and you've become good at it. You can find the biggest part of your list, that big fat list. We want as little as we can in the genius. We're going to have a few things in. So on my notes here, I've done it all in highlighter colour. There's going to be things that you're competent at, and we want to make that the biggest list because we can hand that off. And then there's going to be a few incompetent things, and you're going to list those as well. What's the first thing that we're going to get rid of? Just type that in for me, guys. What are the first jobs that we're going to get rid of? Which part of that, of those 4 sections there, which is the first part that we're going to get rid of? I'd love to know. Just type it in for me. What's the first thing to get rid of out of your world? Your genius, your excellence, you're competent, or you're incompetent. Yes, exactly. Incompetent, red. Incompetent, exactly. Get rid of incompetent, exactly right. We're going to boom that first. Gone. Gone ski. We don't want that anymore. We don't need you anymore. Get that out of my world completely. It's totally irrelevant to my life. Next section, then we're going to get rid of the incompetent. And that's all I want you to do from now. Okay? Find a way to get rid of that to someone. You might not be able to do it today, but at least we start a process. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to rule a line. And the line's going to be something like here. What you rule a line about here? Because the reality is this exercise actually, when I first started doing this, I called this exercise Eliminate Excellence. We want genius. We need genius to stay with us. We need the genius because that's how it flows. That's where we're best at. That's what makes the money. That's why we come to it. That's why we're actually doing financial planning. And there's some things in the excellence that you kind of just do need to do. But really what we want to do, we want to take some of that excellence and we want to get rid of that out of our life as well. You're not probably going to, until eventually we can actually slide this line down and move this line down closer and closer and closer to eventually we're able to eliminate the excellence. Okay, so what we're doing here, we're just trying to push this, we're trying to make the right-hand side of this smaller and the left-hand side of it bigger, and what was your excellence and your competence, that's going to be someone else's genius. That's the beauty of this. It doesn't get left or discarded or just forgotten about. No, we don't do that. We let it be someone else's genius in your world. And I think that's a pretty good place for each and every one of us, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you say? That's pretty much where we're at. And then the last thing is, and this is the last part of it, basically, this is the delegation piece here. So this is what I call Santa's little helper, right? Because there's two things that Santa Claus was famous for. I don't know if you'd know this or not, but Santa Claus was famous for two things. It was making a big list and checking it twice, and that was the first thing. So making a big list and checking it twice, and he was famous for getting his elves to do the work. And that's what we want to do. So we're just basically, we're going to copy the things from the genius. You're going to keep the genius. You're going to keep some of the excellence. We're going to copy the items from the competence and the incompetence, and we're going to hand it over to our elves so that they can do it and do much better than us. And voila, you've got rid of those things out of your life. Okay, that's where we're heading, and that's the beauty of this exercise. It's Teflon exercise that we've just done. So that makes sense, guys. I hope that does. I hope that helps you all. You get, yeah. In other words, as I always say, do you get it? Do you get it? Okay. So the thing is, guys, at the end of the day, if you this Teflon Edge session was all about it. You can apply this to all areas of your business. Okay. I want you to think about every single time you pick something up. It's should I be doing this? Is it a repeatable task? Is this in my genius or at least in my excellence? And now you've got a frame of reference that you can go back to each and every time. You'll know which categories it falls into. The second you touch it, you'll know. And this is all facts. This is the 1%ers that are going to set you apart and free up your time, your energy, your stress levels, your frustration. And it's going to make you a better version of you, I promise you. It's going to make you a better version of you for yourself, for your client, and most importantly for your family as well. I think you'll find it, you know, we want to find the path of least resistance and stop making your business so hard. And this is the first step. Okay, there's just some of the things that I did in my financial planning business that got us to where we were, and I recommend that you guys do it as well. Life gets easy when you make it easy for yourself. I'm saying, guys. I'm just saying. All right, okay, we're right on 11:30. That's pretty good. The timing's okay. Getting better at timing, I've got to say. I'm pleased to say. Guys, what did you learn out of the session, guys? I want to know. Great, thank you, William. Such enough for you guys. What were your main takeaways from today? I'm going to show you the game plan in just a sec because there's a really simple and easy game plan it is. And I'm going to tell you about next week because we've got a great week next week as well. But I'd love to know, what did you learn? What did you notice? What did you share? What would you like to share with the group? I'd love you to just type in. Give us a couple more minutes. And what did you learn, notice, and share about our session today? I'd love you to find the question box. Just type in one or two things that you got out of our call today. Really, really excited to hear what you got out of it. This was a massive starting point, and my business changed the day we started this process. Okay, great. Thanks, Steve. I have the list in front of me and add it as I do non-genius tasks. Great. In fact, what you could do, one thing we did with that, we actually had a spare whiteboard in the office for these sort of things, and we actually had everything on the whiteboard, and we asked people over the course of a week to just add things as they thought of them. So if you're walking past the whiteboard and you think of something that could be added, they just think about it. So it's amazing. The power of one brain is great. The power of 15. 12 or 3 or however many you've got in your group, it's really good. So if you've got a spare place slide, or even if you've got before we had the spare whiteboard, we had a flip chart. So we just had a flip chart on a stand, and we just have this on the flip chart. So people could just write down whatever they wanted, because there's no right or wrong, number one. Number two, people be engaged in the process as well. So they can think of things from their point of view, but also think of things from your point of view, that your people know that you're doing their job. They just can get away with this, and now we're opening up space to help them build your list for you. That's another way to do it, guys. Put it up on a whiteboard or a flip chart so everyone can join in. Matt says, I need more sales to hire more staff. Yeah, to delegate. So it's a catch-22. Just do the delegation first, mate. Do the delegation first, because that'll free up your time to go out and look for more clients. Right? So we've got to do the delegation first, because it's a catch-22. Lindsay says, identifying tasks that could be performed by other staff. Absolutely, that's the first place, it's the starting point of the audit. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Lindsay. Paul, the best businesses have all their processes in place. I now have a framework to do this. Thank you, Paul. Holly, spending too much time on non-revenue producing activities. Boom, Benny, that's exactly what I wanted you to come up with. That's fantastic. Yeah, great. Thanks, Steve. It's a good idea. Let everyone else be involved in it. So it's not. Remember, when it's your process, people don't want to be involved. When they get to participate, they really like it. Hey, great takeouts, guys. Really, really cool. Really good. What I want to game plan really, really quickly, guys. Really quickly. The game plan is quite simple. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get you to go to the back page, and you'll see that the new game plan style is broken up into takeaways, actions, and delegations and communications. What I want you to do, I want you to write your 2 or 3, go through your notes after the session. So these sessions, guys, I'd love you to block out 2 hours so you can have a little bit of time after the session just to get this action plan up and running, and you can have a bit of a chat to your team. So you've got 20 minutes after the session. I want you to write down these 3 or 4 or 5 takeaways at the top there. So that's the first part of this. Second part, in the actions part, I want you to, we've had a great session today, but so the game plan is really 3 words. I want you to write down 3 words under the action section there in the middle. And the first word is this, okay? The first word is the word list. I want you to write the word list in capital letters. So you're going to list out everything that you do. You're going to expand. Well, you might start again and make it neater because I was talking pretty quite fast, but you just start again and make out a big fat list of everything you do. Don't do it over a week or a fortnight or in little increments. You don't need to do that. Just get your diary up, get your job description up if you've got one. Maybe your CRM threads will help you list out all the jobs that you do that are done in your business every single day. In no particular order, just whack down as brainstorm. And like I said, if you're going to do a whiteboard or a flip chart method, do that over the course of a week so everyone gets to have a say. And then they own the process. You can categorize them, like I said, marketing, sales, delivery, service, training, HR, staff, that sort of thing. But for now, we just want a list. Number 2, the second word. I want you to write the word rank. So first we're going to make a list, and then we're going to rank it. We're going to rank them in incompetence, incompetent, in excellence, and in genius. Okay, that's going to be the second sort of filter that we use for this. And then the third word, I want you to write down the word in capital letters, big capital letters with this one, I want you to write down the word offload. I want you to write down offload. Okay, that's the next word. Get rid of the stuff that's sticking to you, stuff that's the smooth you can do. You do it even if you're doing it easily. Get rid of it. Okay, and then you're going to get yourself into a position where you're only doing the excellence, a little bit of the excellence and the genius work. Okay, and once you offload, life gets a lot easier. All right, guys, I think we're just about done. Guys, next session, got an awesome session, and I've just got an awesome image on the screen as well right now. I'm kind of liking this image. This is a very male-oriented image, but anyway, that's how it is. Guys, next time we get together, we're in August, and August is the attract month, so we're back to attraction again, which is great. I love doing the attraction part of it. And as you know, one of the biggest problems that we've got in your financial planning business is trying to attract new prospects and getting new people in the door is, we need to find new ways to teach them and educate people at the same time. And we want them to take action and reach out to you and make contact with you, or at least have a conversation with you in some way, shape, or form. And what that means is, to me, the lines between marketing and education are getting blurred. Okay? We need to provide lots of good content and messages to teach, but at the same time, they need to sell as well. And at this stage, what we want to sell is to have the next meeting with you, or come to your workshop, or download your lead magnet, or whatever your indoctrination is. Have a webinar, whatever it happens to be for you. But if it's a one-on-one meeting, that's fine. But we're trying to sell the next step, not the product or the advice. But we need to teach them, and we need to sell. So marketing and content is blurred, and people tend to get skeptical about marketers. Okay, so our job is to market and attract in a way that feels really valuable and really educational, and not pushy or sleazy. So in other words, we need to amplify your authority. We need to attract clients in a way that builds authority, that builds credibility, builds expectation, and have people hanging out and looking forward to the next installment from you. Okay, so we need to uncover problems. So I'm going to show you how to uncover problems, add style to your marketing, your client attraction, and your education, and get people addicted to what you have to say and when you have to say it. Okay, that's the plan for next time we get together in a couple of weeks' time. So I really hope you can make it. Guys, today's been fun. It's been awesome. I've had a ball teaching you that, and I just think what we learned today, even though some of you might have heard before, it's a really, really valuable part of what we need to do in your business. So, guys, take good care. Have an awesome couple of weeks. There's going to be a couple of announcements about the next summit. Got an awesome session for you guys together in November, but I'm going to start to talk about that now. Guys, keep up the activity in the Facebook page. That would be really fantastic. I'd love you to be more involved in the Facebook community. It's hard interacting with myself for the same couple of people, so please, if you're on the fringes, get in there and love to interact with all of you. Okay, guys, thanks everyone. Thanks, just comments here, great process, list all activities. Thanks, William. Creating space, Paul. Thanks, Steve. William says, Rob says, thanks, Steve. William's going to try, absolutely. Yeah, I know it's hard for you with the Facebook page, William, no worries at all. Hey, guys, take care. Thanks for all the thanks in here too. Let's say thanks, Matt, Andrew, Nigel. Rick says thank you. Dude, this was great. Okay, no worries at all. I love that you love it. Thanks, Steve King. Guys, thanks for this session, really cool. I'll talk to you all very shortly. Andrew Dwyer, I see you're still on the line there, mate. But can you hook me up? I just want to go through that lead magnet that we talked about the other day. There's a bit in there. I can't kind of do it by myself. So if you can hook me up for a Focus 20, that would be fantastic. Okay, guys, take good care. Talk to you all soon. Bye now.